There seems to be a lot of people very confused about what an executive order is and what it can do and cannot do. So let's talk about it. There are a lot of people like this person who seem to think that an executive order is a law. It's not. It's a directive by the president. All an executive order is kind of like a wish list for the president. And if it is something that is unconstitutional or illegal, it gets challenged by the courts and it gets struck down. One good example of this is Joe Biden trying to do executive order student loan forgiveness, and it got struck down by the courts. You see, Trump does not understand all this, so he gets really frustrated whenever the courts push back on him, even though it's within their rights to do so. Because like I said, it's not a law. It's just something that he wants. If a president could create a law by the stroke of a pen, then why would we need Congress? If you want to pass a law, you have to go through both houses of Congress. And if you don't understand how that all works, I highly recommend looking up Schoolhouse Rock. I'm just a bill up here on Capitol Hill. Executive orders can be powerful if used correctly, but if not, they can be reversed, they can be shut down by the courts, or just ignored. If a president signs an executive order that is unconstitutional, states are under no obligation to follow that order. That's why we have something in our government called, what's that word? D word, Donkey Kong? No. Democracy. And I fully understand that that is not the way that Trump wants to govern. He wants to be a king. He wants to be a dictator. But that's not how our Constitution works. Now, there may be sycophants that go along with the idea that he is a king or a dictator, and they kneel and prostrate themselves in front of him, but it doesn't make it so. All he's wanting to do is make a big show of it, so he seems like he's got the ultimate authority here, but he does not. Because one of the first things that he did when he took office was reverse a bunch of Joe Biden's executive orders. So what do you think is going to happen to his executive orders the next time that a Democrat's in office? This is like a restaurant manager at Olive Garden telling the wait staff how they can distribute the never-ending breadsticks. But if he decided, you know what, I'm just going to change the menu. I'm going to change all the menus for all the Olive Gardens. People would stop him. They'd be like, no, you can't do that. Because there are a lot more people in charge of the decision-making than just that one guy. So saying it's a law when Democrats do it, but it's not when Trump does it, is silly. If somebody is going against what is constitutional, it gets struck down. Period. It doesn't matter who's president. But Trump tends to go against the Constitution a lot more than other presidents, so that's why all his executive orders tend to be getting struck down left and right. Hopefully this all made sense. If not, let me know and I will try again.